I'm Nadia Giordana, and you're watching Where Women Talk. My guest today is Ann Aubitz of Kirk House Publishing. She's here to explain to us, and I'm very interested in learning what this is all about, hybrid publishing. Let's go talk to Ann and learn more. Welcome to the show, Ann.
Thank you for having me, Nadia.
It's good to have you here. I'm excited to hear about hybrid publishing and Kirk House. Tell me about the different types of publishing that are out there.
Well, I'll talk about three different types because there are a lot more, but the three main types are traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and self-publishing. And so I'll talk about traditional first, and most people know about this. It's the type of publishing that, the big authors, Stephen King, and, people like that use, where traditional publishing is where the traditional publisher will actually pay to publish your book. Sometimes they'll give you an advance and you get the royalties from the publishing company. But with that comes, you need to do your query letters or have an agent to submit to most of the traditional publishing houses. And it takes usually 2 to 5 years to see your book in print, which is a long time. And I will talk about marketing throughout this. You still have to market your book. People think with a traditional publisher, they're going to take care of it. And in the past, that was true, but it isn't anymore. No matter what type of publishing you choose, you're going to need to market your book. So you still need to do that. You still need to understand that you're going to have to market your own book. The second type is, I'll talk about self-publishing, is where you have all the control. So you're able to pick and choose a designer. You're really doing everything on your own. So everything through the cover design, interior design, getting the book out there, getting it produced, all of that falls on you. And there are mentor presses, which one of our companies, Fusion Press, does help people through every single step. So we do offer that as well as hybrid publishing. But you get a lot of choice. So with traditional publishing, they oftentimes will just do the cover and you're kind of stuck with the cover that they produce for you. With self-publishing, you get all the choice, you get all the say, but you're paying all the money too. So hybrid combines the best of both worlds. And that's with Kirk House Publishers, which is one of our other companies. We've combined the best of self-publishing, so you still have a choice, with the great parts of traditional publishing. And we're actually even adding on more marketing. So with hybrid publishing, the author does pay a contribution, so you will pay something to start up, but it's a royalty-based publishing, so you will get a royalty for all the books you sell.
That's really important, I think, to authors, the idea of getting those royalties coming in. Even sometimes if it isn't so much at first, it's very exciting to the author to know that they're actually going to get royalties coming back to them. And hybrid seems to be the new wave, the hot new thing, and I think it's something that's here to stay. Things have changed permanently in publishing.
Yeah, I think so too. And it really does combine the best of both worlds. The one thing I stress is that you do your due diligence and you find the type of publishing that works for you. So one person may say, yep, I'm gonna be a traditionally published author. Well, that's fantastic. So know what you want. And we tell people too, I print a lot of genealogies and family histories that aren't mass marketed. If you have a book that you're really passionate about, you don't have to share it with the world. If you want to do a book, that's something that is great too. You can do a book for your family. So it is an option now, and that's a great option with self-publishing. That's another really good thing about it.
It's nice to have these different options. And I'm wondering about editing, because there seems to be different types of editing. Some people like to edit their own work. In my experience, you can't catch everything, you're too close to it. What different levels of editing are available?
So there's a lot of different types of editing, and I stress you need to have it professionally edited. So please have your manuscript edited by a professional. And this is not to sound harsh, but your neighbor who's a second grade teacher is not a professional editor. She may be fantastic, but there's certain rules that we follow to make it not look like a self-published or just a book that you put together without having it edited. You really need to have somebody look at it that's a professional and has been doing it for years. One of our editors has been in the business for over 35 years. So there's developmental editing, which is looking at the big picture. So it's really smoothing out the spots. I had a developmental editor look at one of my books, and chapter 37 should have been chapter 5. So it's really getting the flow and the large picture of the whole book, and the story arcs, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, really looking at that flow and polishing it up. Developmental editors are not proofreading your book. So unless you're having them do that, I would suggest that you have somebody other than the developmental editor do that. And most developmental editors will say that as well. The other types that we do a line edit. So line editing is what it sounds like. It's line by line by line. And it's really looking at sentence structure, how best to get your point across, how to stay within the storyline. And really, that's really like the technical part. So it's the grammar, really looking at every word. So that's what we do on the line edit. And then our last type that we do is, of course, proofreading, which every book is proofread before we print it. And that is just going through for typos, for, again, grammar issues, missing punctuation, really just cleaning it up. So those are the 3 types, and that's another thing you really need to do your due diligence and find an editor that works for you, that works right for you. There's a very nice mix between and a working relationship and a connection between an author and an editor.
In an overall hybrid publishing experience, what could an author that approaches you and is considering seriously about signing up for the program, and what can they expect through that experience from beginning to end in a nutshell?
So for hybrid, what they can expect with us is that we will help them and mentor them through every single step of the process. So from design to distribution, the design part of it is the cover. We work with them, and it's a relationship. So it's collaborative. It goes back and forth. And that's where people ask how long this is going to take. And that's one question that, it really depends on the author. I have some authors who take 45 days to review their proofs, and some get back to me within 5 minutes. So it's really a collaborative effort. So we're going back and forth, and we're discussing what they want to see. I want them to be proud of what they're doing and proud of the final product. I hate when I hear authors say that they're embarrassed to show people their book. It breaks my heart. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be like that. You should be proud of what you've done. And you should say, because writing a book is a big deal. People equate it to having a child. It's a lot of work. So, and it is an investment. So when you're doing hybrid, we'll take you through every step of that, through cover design, the interior design, the production of the book, and the distribution. And we help with marketing as well. Of course, like I said, you still have to market your own book, but we will help with that as well.
Distribution is an area that I know very little about. What, again, in a nutshell, is distribution all about? What does that entail?
Well, distribution can be a lot of different things. There's people think of Amazon as distribution. That's really a retailer. So they're putting your book out there, which is fantastic, obviously, because a lot of people buy from Amazon. But there's another distribution partner we have is Baker & Taylor. And what that means is they're promoting our book. Baker & Taylor specializes in libraries and schools and organizations. So they're promoting our book out to those kind of places. And they can order through their system. And then we store the books here in our warehouse and we ship them. So if there's an order on Amazon, Amazon will order, could be 10, 15 books, and then we ship them to their warehouses all over the United States. With Baker & Taylor, it's the same thing. So a distributor is somebody, and third party, so we're not considered a distributor, but somebody we send books to, so they send it out to the end users. And there's a lot of different types of distributors that, specialize in the genre, so Christian books or just fiction. So you really need to find the distributor that works for you too. But the publisher will have that relationship. Authors don't necessarily go directly to a distributor, but we would use somebody that works for us.
That makes sense, and we've run out of time, but this has really been informative. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Anne.
Thank you very much. It was a great time. Thanks a lot.
And thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.